This is where we take the source material you send our way. It could be articles, notes, anything really, and we just dig into it for you.
Get right to the core insights.
Exactly. And today, the source we're diving into is an excerpt you shared. It's from William Boericke's Homeopathic Materia Medica,
Mm-hmm.
and it focuses on Aragallus lambert. You might know it as white loco weed or rattleweed.
Right. And maybe just a quick word on what a materia medica is in this context.
Oh, yeah, good point.
So think of it as a very detailed reference book. It basically compiles these extensive descriptions, they often call them symptom pictures, that are linked to different substances.
Okay.
And exploring one like this, it gives a really specific view on how a plant's effects were seen, within that particular system. It's quite a unique lens.
Gotcha. So our job today then is to unpack what this text says about Aragallus lambert. What effects does it highlight, body and mind, and why these details?
Let's do it.
Okay, so Boericke kicks it off pretty directly. It says this substance acts principally on nervous system. That's quite the opening statement, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it immediately flags the nervous system. That's the main stage.
Right.
And the symptoms listed under that, they're pretty intense. You've got bewildered, confused state. There's serious incoordination mentioned, even hints of paralysis.
Wow.
Yeah, it specifically lists locomotor ataxia. So difficulty with coordinating your movements and just feeling wiped out, tired, especially in the morning, it says.
That feeling of being bewildered, confused, that seems really central. I mean, you get to the mind section and it really digs into that.
It does.
It talks about Great Depression, finding it hard to study,
Yeah.
and just really wanting to be alone.
Yeah, that mental side is definitely key. The description includes apathy, real trouble concentrating, even defective expression in writing. And this sort of restlessness and aimless wandering. It sketches out someone who's, profoundly affected, both cognitively and emotionally.
And there's one detail in that mind section that really jumped out at me. It feels so specific.
What's that?
Must concentrate his mind on walking.
Ah, yeah.
That's more than just clumsiness, right?
Yeah.
It sounds like it takes conscious mental power just to, walk.
That's exactly what's so interesting there. It connects the physical, the incoordination straight back to the mind.
Right.
It's not just that the body isn't cooperating, the mind is actively struggling to manage it. There's a cognitive load just from the act of walking.
Yeah, that struggle feels really vivid in the description. And okay, so the nervous system and mind are clearly the big focus.
Definitely.
But the text does touch on other physical things too, right? Though maybe with a bit less emphasis overall.
Yeah. It lists other things like underhead, it notes diplopia, double vision,
Okay.
and things like a cracked lower lip. Minor details, perhaps, compared to the mental state, but recorded.
And the throat section, that has some very specific visual notes.
It does, yeah. Aching, soreness, nausea.
Yeah.
But then it adds the pharynx looks dark, swollen, glazed. That's quite a precise observation.
Very visual. Then you get respiratory symptoms, weight on chest, this really distinct constriction as of a wide band.
And soreness under the sternum.
And finally, extremities lists just general weakness, some sciatic nerve pain, and muscle cramps in the leg when walking.
So if you pull all these pieces together, just from this one source, Boericke's text,
Yeah.
you get this picture of Aragallus lambert as something hitting the nervous system hard, causing confusion, messing with coordination, making basic tasks mentally taxing.
Okay.
But then you also have these other very specific physical symptoms scattered around the body. They all combine to create that unique symptom picture we talked about.
Right. So to wrap up this deep dive on the Boericke excerpt, Aragallus lambert is primarily shown impacting the nervous system.
Yep.
Leading to that bewilderment, confusion, major coordination problems, needing actual mental focus just to move.
And then these other specific physical markers layered on top.
Exactly. A whole collection of described effects.
And maybe that leads to a final thought, something for you, the listener, to mull over based on this source.
Okay.
Just reflect on how a text like this, a Materia Medica, gives such a, particular and detailed snapshot of a substance's reported effects. Think about those really specific descriptions we found.
Like the throat being dark, swollen, glazed.
Exactly. Or that feeling of a wide band around the chest. What does that level of specific observed detail tell us about the way effects were documented and understood back then? Compared to maybe how we describe a substance's impact today, it really highlights their focus on the specific reported sensory experience, doesn't it?
Interesting point. Something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.